So, this is kind of a monumentous occasion because for the first time ever, we have a special guest on the Kojima Frequency. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to the master of Machinima, NourishedPsyche.
Ooh.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's a hell of an intro.
Yeah, that was smooth.
Yeah, thank you.
I liked it.
I practice in front of the mirror.
That's actually a good technique.
Did you punch it like Venom Snake afterwards?
Yeah,
Smash.
exactly.
I went through 6 mirrors.
Yeah, it's stocked up at Costco.
Got it right
I
there.
was going to say, hope they're on sale.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you buy in bulk, they're always on sale.
Hey, I'm Fingers.
Yo, this is Vector.
Hey everyone, this is Days Ahead.
And I'm Nitroid. You're listening to the Kojima Frequency.
Tell us who you are. What do you do?
I'm NourishedPsyche, a.k.a. Michael Yurko, a.k.a. Get Psyched Productions. I am a machinima maker. I make movies in Metal Gear Online 2. I've been doing it for about a decade.
Wow. It's a long time.
It is a
I'm
long
afraid
time.
it's been 9 years.
Actually almost 11.
Right on, right on. Cool.
I'm just amazed you could put up with Metal Gear Online for that long.
Well, we had a significant gap after it closed down, so...
Yeah, that still hurts.
So you're still able to make movies in Metal Gear Online 2?
Right. Thanks
What
to
are you
the
using
folks,
for that?
Oh, I was going to say, thanks to the folks at MGO2 Revival, I'm able to jump on their own server and play Metal Gear Online 2 as if the server never shut down.
Wow.
That still blows my mind that they were able to pull that off. And it was just like, what, 2-3 guys just hammering away at it?
Yeah, I think 2 guys, one main programmer and one junior programmer. And the amount of work that they put into the server and the things they've done, it's incredible.
They got around the Konami ID, and that just blows my mind.
I hated that so much.
I remember when that thing launched, and everybody hated that.
They're starting to customize the game. You can actually use colorful weapons now. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, Nitroid saw that the other day. I wasn't too excited about that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
We've talked about that before. I'm not. I'm kind of a purist, so when it starts to lean into Fortnite, I'm gonna dial out.
He's gonna bone out.
But so you like the customization stuff?
No, I hate it. I think it's stupid.
You just said it was cool.
I was. If you couldn't tell, I was being sarcastic. I know I only have one tone of voice, but yeah, I'm not a fan. Like Nitroid, I'm a purist. I mean, I'm not gonna stop playing the game or stop making movies just because they're making subtle changes. And it's not even in-house. They're mods made by other players for something you can use in your custom firmware PS3. So,
Well, a couple of them were part of the base game, though, like how they changed the intro screen and the music. I think they changed some of the outfit graphics, like T-shirt graphics.
yeah,
and then
a
the
few.
big one. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was going to say a few. Very minor. I think it's one T-shirt design that they changed. They turned like Sloth into a Save MGO graphics shirt or something like that.
The big one was that they removed some environmental effects from a couple of the maps to try and boost the frame rate, right? But it just kind of ended up making it really irregular.
Right, and even when you look at the environment as a whole on a map like Groznygrad, for example, it looks like through the way that the sun and the clouds move in the game, it looks like there's a snowstorm, but it's absent now, which is kind of, I don't know, stupid.
That was one of my favorite maps too. They did such a bang up job converting Groznygrad from MGS3 into MGO2 without like changing it too fundamentally.
That and a few other gems like Silo Sunset from Portable Ops. They did a nice job kind of making it as if it was an MGO2 map to begin with.
Yeah, I wish that had stuck around longer. I will say it is amazing that they have been able to kind of learn the ins and outs of that game to the point where they can modify content. I've seen a couple videos where they've been able to sort of swap maps around and let you play in different areas that you weren't supposed to, which is kind of amazing. But at the same time, it comes back to that sort of purist angle where I just also want to have the base game untouched.
Right, and I agree with you in that aspect, but I also welcome new maps and new environments. Making machinimas for the past 10 years kind of gets a little redundant when you're making different movies and using the same areas over and over and over again.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've done Metal Gear 2, you've done Snake's Revenge, and I've watched those, and you did a really good job of not making it seem too much like you were just recycling the same ideas and areas.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really hard because I'll go into a map, try to film a scene, and think, man, I have to do it different than I did in the past. Maybe shoot a certain angle in a certain area of the map. I just don't want it to look too much like my previous work. And when I created Metal Gear 2, I actually planned that whole movie out. Scene for scene, map for map. I had ideas of where I wanted to film and use the the areas to my benefit, I guess. And later on, I just kind of do it off the cuff. I go, hey, let's film tonight, and I think I want to film here in Ravaged Riverfront, but I have no idea how I want to film it yet. So we'll just kind of do it as we go.
There was a brief period of time many years back during MGO1, during the time that was still active officially, where I tried to make a machinima with some friends, and the hardest part out of everything, and I mean it was so challenging to get any of that to work, but the biggest frustration by far was the fact that occasionally your actors wouldn't follow the rules and would start breaking stuff. And if you give a crap about continuity, you're like, you broke a window. It can't be broken in the next shot, man. We got to start over.
Or stop shooting the lights out. I kind of need the lighting in this area.
Speaking of continuity, that's a great transition. Psych, right now you're actually working on a prequel to Ghost Babel, which is like an alternate timeline Metal Gear 1, right?
Exactly. I think in the events of the Ghost Babel continuum, the timeline, Metal Gear remains untouched. And since I already made Metal Gear 1 as a machinima, I wanted to do things a little differently. So I switched things up here or there. I'm not going to give away any details because I want it to be a surprise. But again, kind of touching back to what Nitroid said about, you got to be careful not to film in the same areas over and over again. That's kind of the approach I took in this. So I just wanted to make it different.
Right on. So something we were all talking about a few days ago is because there was an image that Jordan Vogt Roberts posted on Twitter where it was an alternate history where Sniper Wolf survives Metal Gear Solid 1, and we got into this discussion about the butterfly effect as it applies to the Metal Gear universe, and maybe that's something we could discuss.
Sure.
I figured somebody would have
Yeah, I mean, I'm all about it. I love just taking different, just having different takes on something. It's like we can have the canon and the thing that we know, but then there can also be these little side stories that just don't matter.
Well, Psych, I know you said you didn't want to spoil anything or give away too many details, but do you have any examples of an event or something that you slightly altered and how that spiraled out of control or led into your Ghost Babel project?
I don't really think anything spiraled too far out of control to where it wouldn't kind of flow well with Ghost Babel. But I did take interactions with certain characters and made them a little different. For example, I don't want to spoil too much, so I got to be careful what I say. Let's just say that I changed some things around with Gray Fox, but it does not affect the outcome of the story in any way. I tried to take elements from Metal Gear 2 and apply them to Metal Gear 1 because, again, I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear 2. It was my first MGO movie. I love that story. It holds a sentimental place in my heart.
Yeah.
But I just tried to take elements from that game, apply it to Metal Gear 1, shift the story around a little bit so that it kind of becomes one story. Not that the events of this Metal Gear are taking place in Zanzibar land or anything. Everything pretty much remains the same, except that the story is told differently within the setting. So
it's funny because sometimes I forget that Metal Gear 2 isn't acknowledged in that continuity.
Right.
They never acknowledge it, but they also never really, I don't know, by the fact that they omit it in the way they omit it, you can safely say that Metal Gear 2 didn't happen.
Right.
Because they talk about, the fall of Big Boss happening in Outer Heaven as opposed to Zanzibar land. So it's almost like it never happened. But at the same time, Snake knows Campbell. It's really strange.
Yeah.
I'd like to add to that how Snake knows Campbell. I wanted to take that as well because that's such a key, key part of the Ghost Babel story is that Snake and the Campbell have like this relationship kind of much like they did in Metal Gear Solid. And I wanted to portray that in my movie. So Colonel Campbell is Snake's main radio contact in the story, much like Big Boss was in the original game.
Right. So Nitrate, you were saying earlier how you're a purist. When we were talking about MGO2, how did I got to imagine that you're completely against the idea of an alternate history. Like if they were to make another Metal Gear, you wouldn't want them to do like an alternate history or time travel type like storytelling mechanic or anything like that, right?
Quite the contrary. I would love it to go in a completely different direction and be as weird as possible.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, I want them to get as far away from canon as they can.